That kick in the backside made me start the process of putting a line in the sand in the future and then fighting like crazy to get across that line. Is deciding what I wanted to achieve and then not letting anything stop me from achieving that. And those little gains, year after year after year, have allowed me to do a whole heap of things like play professional sport, retire at 34, write books, travel around the world. And there's nothing that I've done from playing a bigger game that you guys couldn't do. It's just a matter of going, what lies in the future that I really want to attach myself to, and then doing everything that you can possibly do to achieve that. In fact, that's the thing that lies at the very core of our existence. At the very core of every single person in this room is the mechanism to improve, to be better, to find better ways, to do different things, to get ahead, to achieve more, be more, do more and have more. It lies at the very heart of who we are. I believe there are 4 things that every single person in this room controls completely that change the game. 4 things that you control that right now you choose not to control. But if you did, your world would change immediately. So I was in Tokyo a few years ago, speaking at a conference just like this. And I get a phone call from my little brother to tell me my father's in Gundawindi Hospital and he has less than 48 hours to live. I hadn't seen my father for 17 years. I said, we need to allow Dad to forgive us. And Ken says, what's he going to forgive us for? He's the alcoholic, he's the one who got divorced, he's the one who hasn't been in touch. I said, imagine lying in the bed that you're going to die in, having never, ever set eyes on your grandchildren. So we stuck him in a wheelchair, put a straw hat on his head and wheeled him off down to the Gundawindi pub. And I had the opportunity to have one last beer with my father. This is me and my little brother Ken when we got back to the hospital. We tucked Dad into bed. About an hour later, he looked up, gave us a wave and drifted off into another world. But if you ever wanted evidence that when you are in complete control of your attitude, the world changes, this photo is it. I believe culture is the most powerful thing on the planet. It's also the hardest thing for you to change. But as a leader, if you can get to the point where you have the ability to influence the culture in your organisation in a positive way, you'll be a leader that's been remembered forever and ever. I've spent the last 3 decades travelling all over the globe, looking at different cultures and experiencing what goes on within cultures and what makes them tick and what makes them work. I've spent some time with the Maasai warriors on the plains of the Serengeti. And the Maasai is a very unique culture. But this little ritual here is how you go about attracting a female partner in the Maasai tribe. So you stand on the spot with your stick, leap into the air like that, and the higher you go, the more likely you are to attract a female companion. How awesome is that? Imagine trying that in the nightclub on Saturday night. As you can see, the person that got highest off the ground is the Maasai warrior at the back. He came up to me afterwards and said, if you lived with us, you'll be a very lonely man. Awesome rituals that come from different cultures. In half of last year, I went and buried myself inside the Disney Institute with good old Mickey Mouse and spent some time trying to understand how one of the best business in the cultures in the world treats people, motivates its leaders and creates success on the back of the wonderful culture that they've created. What's the point of that? Well, the point of that is that all cultures, every single one of those cultures, has 7 elements that make up its existence. And you'll start to see the signs, symbols, languages, rituals, rewards, ceremonies and celebrations that are out of step. And it's your job as a leader to define which ones of those are clunky and fix them up. When all of these things are aligned, you get an organisation that absolutely rocks. I'll give you my experience of playing a bigger game. I'm obsessed with the idea of playing a bigger game. I'm obsessed with the idea that as individuals, when you rub up against the obstacles that hold you back, when you get stuck in a rut and don't think you can go anywhere, that there is more. I love the idea of leaders being able to talk to people about possibility, the possibility mindset, the ability to go an extra yard. I love the idea of working with organisations and building a culture where they step into the future with the idea that they can change the world.